Hello and welcome to Butler's Printed Models assembly video for the Lancaster aeroplane. We do two versions, this standard one and one with a bouncing bomb, but the assembly process is the same for both. This is a 1/200 scale model, but again, whichever scale you've got, the assembly process is the same. So tools you're going to need, a small file, quite possibly pair of pliers and some glue. Umbrol polycement is ideal. So these are the parts that you should have. Again, whichever scale you've got, number of parts is the same. Obviously 2 halves of the aeroplane, 4 engines all in 2 halves, so 8 parts, and the 2 stabilizers for the back. So we can get on and assemble it. We'll put the engines to one side and start off with the 2 halves of the aeroplane. First thing to do is to remove these circles. And same on the other side. Now there is a very small amount of support here under the machine gun at the back, so use the pliers just to carefully take that off. Same on the other side. And that should be it. Looks okay. So if there's anything else that needs cleaning up on these, and now's the time to do it. Don't look too bad. So before we glue these together, it's worth running a file through this hole on the underside, which is going to be used as a mounting point, just to make sure that's completely flat on the inside. You can do it later, but it's much easier to do it now. Just make sure that's nice and flat. We have a witness mark from where one of the circles was on there. Same on this side. Just get rid of that. Take a little bit more time over it than I'm doing, and then we just need to glue the 2 halves together, so we can get on with that straight away. And we need glue on both sides. And then we need to give it a few seconds to go tacky. Okay, video isn't paused, and here we go. 2 halves together, make sure that everything lines up. And that's fine. Now we need to put that to one side to allow that to dry. While that's drying, we can start work on the engines. There isn't really very much to do with these other than glue them together, but you can just go over any little raised points or anything that looks like it shouldn't be there. Can be removed. There really shouldn't be very much to do with these. Now, quite obviously, there are two longer engines and two smaller engines. These smaller ones go on the outside, the larger ones go on the inside, but that's pretty obvious when you're looking at the aeroplane. The left and rights, the left and right engines on the aeroplane are all the same, so it doesn't matter how we pair these up. They're all going to be the same, so it's pretty straightforward. We just need to glue these together. Again, just needs a few seconds to go tacky. Probably a bit longer than I'm going to leave it now. Again, just make sure everything lines up. There's two longer ones, and I can do the smaller ones. And the last one. So we need to let all that dry and then we can come back to it. Okay, so we're given plenty of time for everything to dry. We just need to stick the engines on. I've put them where they should be relatively to the aeroplane there. So they're pretty straightforward. The longer ones go on the longer points and the shorter ones go on the outside. Before we put these on, it's just worth making sure that the join is nice and smooth so that they sit flat on there. So you can just rub a file over all these points on all of them just to make sure they line up. I've done this off camera just to save time, but it's pretty easy to do. So we'll get around to gluing these on. Okay, difficult for me to see and you to see at the same time. It's pretty obvious where they go, just got to make sure everything lines up. And then same for the shorter ones. Just give that a few seconds to dry. So there we go, got the four engines attached. It's probably worth letting that dry so we don't knock those engines off while they're drying, before we put the stabilisers on the back. So we'll just leave that again. Okay, so we've given chance for the engines to dry, so the only thing left to do is to put the stabilisers on. They're not identical, there is a left and a right side. It's going to be difficult to see on the video, but this bar that connects onto the rear wing just sticks out slightly on one side, and that point it goes to the back. So we're going to go on like that. That's it really, we just need to put a bit of glue on. Give that a few seconds to go tacky again. Really useful if this is tacky, because then it has a nice grab when it goes on. Just line it up. Make sure it's vertical. There we go. Do the other side. Again, we'll just wait for that to go tacky. And once we've done this, the aeroplane will be complete. Doing this a bit soon, it's not really tacky enough. There we go. Yeah, just make sure that it's vertical. And there we go. Once they're dry, it's all done.